This is Steve Ridgel, and I teach a class at Hillcrest Church of Christ in Abilene on Wednesday nights called the Jesus Journey. And we talk to people that really don't have a lot of religious background. It's a class for people who want to know what that journey would look like. And it's interesting to me as we talk about things. For instance, last night we talked about when Jesus said the greatest commandments: love God with all you have and love your neighbor just like you do yourself. And we were talking about it, and I came to realize that for a lot of people, even people that have been Christians a long time, when we talk about our Jesus road, we're really looking for a road with a whole lot of stoplights, a lot of green, do this, a lot of red, don't do this. We really like the checklist. Just tell me, what are the things I have to do, the green lights? What are the things I can't do, the red lights? And then we think we can just check those off. We even treat baptism a little bit like that sometimes, as if it's some kind of step to check off on the part of your journey. And Jesus doesn't talk in those terms. He talks in terms of loving God and loving your neighbor and being born again and dying and being buried and being resurrected with his Son, living a new life. Talks about the Holy Spirit. Your Jesus journey is not a series of do's and don'ts. Now somebody's going to say, wait, but there are things we have to do and things we shouldn't do. And that's right. And every one of them hang on one of these two commands: love God or love your neighbor. All the commands depend on those two. That's what Jesus said in Matthew 22. And you know what? Sometime for just a little exercise, think of everything you can that God says do or not do. And every one of them will be connected to loving Him or loving your neighbor. So God talks about the Jesus journey as following His Son, loving Him, loving His Son, loving the people you're on the journey with, loving the people that haven't started the journey yet. It's about loving people, loving God, loving people. And by the way, that's the right order. Love God first. Anytime somebody says, well, if there's a choice between commands and people, I'm going to choose people, that's a false dichotomy you're setting up. It doesn't work that way. God's never going to ask you to do anything about people that doesn't fit in with loving Him first. None of His commands would ever go against loving people. So it's interesting to hear us talk. We almost convey this here. Find out where your red lights are and don't do those, and look for the green lights and do those. When God's talking about life commands, love me with all you have and love everybody around you. So when we talk about the Jesus journey, we talk a lot about the road where Jesus is, and that's a road of love. Now, this is Steve Ridgel. If you're not on your Jesus journey, please contact one of us. Let us talk to you about how to get on your Jesus journey, what it looks like. And if you're a little too caught up in the do's and the don'ts, elevate your game. Focus on the why of the do's and don'ts, and that why is always found in loving God and loving your neighbor.